trying to get out of this chair. I was sitting on that side and the lighting didn't look good, and now I'm on this side. Like, this lighting sucks. But if I look, like if I just hold the camera on this side, the lighting's good. So whatever. Okay. So, hi guys. Welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a super long time, so if you're still here, still supporting me, thank you. I do appreciate it. Someone actually told me the other day that they have their post notifications turned on and waiting for this video, so thank you, Shane. I appreciate that. So I'm actually going to talk about why I was away for such a long time, and I do have some footage that goes along with that. You're going to understand why I have to take so many breaths and breaks. And yeah, I might get a little bit of anxiety through this video, but I will explain that all in the video. So let's just go ahead and get started. Sorry if it's a little wobbly, I'm holding the camera up. Okay, so I'm just gonna jump right into it because I don't really know what else to talk about right now. Not much is going on in my life. I swear I'm gonna stop changing the angle once I can figure out a way to get this to stay right here. Wait a second. Yay! That actually works. Okay. Hopefully it stays like that for the whole video, even though it's cutting off part of my head. It's okay. So, where have I been? It started off when I started having stomach pains. I was just getting really bad stomach pains down at where my ovaries are, and at first I thought it's because I'm doing Zumba a lot and I'm working out a lot, and I was kind of new to Zumba at the time. I had only done it for a couple months, so sorry if I'm super fidgety. Like I told you, I'm getting a little anxious, so I might be very fidgety through this video, but just bear with me or just get off the video. You know, it really doesn't matter. I mean, I care if you stay on the video, but if you want to get off because I'm fidgeting, go for it. So, because I can't stop it. So, yeah, I started having stomach pains, and one night I was dog sitting for this lady at my job. For actually a few nights, and I had really bad stomach pains to the point where I couldn't take it anymore. I just couldn't like bear it at the moment. So I went to Zumba that night that this all started, and I got really bad stomach pains, and then I started to get to like where I was gonna pass out. So I just felt really dizzy, and I ran like to my car. I just booked it, and I only live like 10 minutes from my gym. So I came home to my mom's house, and I was like, Mom, I don't feel good, my stomach is hurting. And she had already known that this had been going on, but I was like, today I just can't bear it. I was just telling her like, today, Mom, I just need you to take me to the hospital. Like, something's not right, and I can't wait to go to the doctor tomorrow. Like, something is just not right here, and I need to go now. So she took me to the hospital, and they did an ultrasound on me, and they did a few scans on me, and they found out that I had cysts on my ovaries. And I was like, okay. And they're like, that's not bad, pretty normal, everything's fine. So they gave me like something like an Advil or something like that, like some sort of like ibuprofen, a heavy ibuprofen, just to calm the pain. So editing in my hair, I just noticed one, how fidgety I am in this video, and two, you see me stop and go a lot, and that's actually me popping my throat because it gets tense, especially when I'm having anxiety. It gets super tense. So if you see me stop and do that, yeah, it's just me trying to pop my throat back open because it feels like it's closing on me, even though it's not. Just a new little tick that I have right now. then I started having really bad stomach pains. Still, but like a little bit higher in my stomach, and I was like, something just doesn't feel right. Like, I don't feel good. I couldn't eat. I was barely eating at this time. I had stopped eating at one point during this. It was like a few weeks of just like me feeling like something's not right. Like, you know how you can tell in your body, like, I don't know about this, something feels off. So that's how I felt. So I go back to the hospital about 4 or 5 times, and they keep saying, oh, you have acid reflux, oh, you're having panic attacks, just everything under the sun except for what was actually wrong. And they had done like a lot of ultrasounds, CT scans. I had had everything done at this point, a ton of things done at this point. And still, I was like, Mom, I just don't feel good, like I can't eat. And then they were telling me I have an eating disorder, which I wanted to eat. I just couldn't breathe. Like, I had trouble breathing. My throat was having spasms. And it felt like it was closing on me. You know, at the time, it's super scary when your throat is closing. So finally, after 5 or 6 times going to this hospital, them telling me you have an eating disorder, you have acid reflux, which I did have acid reflux, they were right about that. And like all these things, like, oh, you're just panicking, it's anxiety, blah blah blah. I finally go to my primary doctor, which, shout out to my primary doctor. I'm not gonna say his name on here because that's dangerous, but shout out to him. He gets me back there, he feels my stomach, you know, just a little bit around, and he feels like the top part of my stomach right here under my breast, and immediately he's like, it's your gallbladder. We tell him my symptoms, and he's like, So immediately he's like, it's your gallbladder, it's going really bad, get to a hospital now. And he recommended us to another hospital because we were like, screw that hospital that we've been going to. Me and my mom were both like, we are not going back there. They're not doing anything good for me, like they're not helping me. So we finally went to that hospital. At this point, I was probably down like 10 to 15 pounds from where I was at. I was at 140, 145 when this all started, which is not an unhealthy weight for me. I looked healthy, but for my height, it's like a high weight. But like, I don't know, those charts just don't make sense to me. So anyways, he was like, it's your gallbladder. He sends me to this other hospital. So we go to that other hospital, and they kept me overnight, and they looked at my gallbladder, and they told me, yeah, you have sludge in your gallbladder, which is like sand, excuse me, which is like sand. The reason your gallbladder goes bad, reasons that they gave me, a lot of people said they don't really know why, but they gave me, sorry, my dogs are barking. Okay, seems as though they're done. I hope I'm not really close to this. Okay, so they said you have sludge in your gallbladder. You need to get the sludge cleaned out, whatever, but we don't do that here. But they kept me overnight because my potassium was really low, and you know, well, I don't know if you know, but when your potassium is low, I just hit myself in the face. When your potassium is low, you can get heart arrhythmia, which is what I was having. So I forgot to mention this before I went to that hospital, before I went to my doctor. I wasn't sleeping at all. I would wake up in the middle of the night like and I would panic. Every 5 to 10 minutes I would panic. I swear, all the noises that anyone can make, they're just doing right now. Anyways, I would panic and I couldn't sleep. So they're like, first we have to get all your levels stabilized. So they had to give me potassium, they had to keep me overnight, which if you've ever had potassium put through an IV, oh my goodness, it hurts so bad. It feels like someone's literally putting acid in your veins, and I'm not even exaggerating. And if anyone has ever had that, comment down below so that they know I'm not exaggerating. It hurts so bad.
My sister wanted to show you guys her
battle wounds.
Yeah, her battle wounds from her IVs and all the blood that was taken out. And yeah, this is what we got.
They've gotten a lot better.
Oh yeah.
Have this one.
The one on her hand is really going away, but this one, this one is pretty big.
This one used to be one big one.
Yeah, it was probably the size of like her whole, like from here to the outside of this one, and then up to here.
And then I have this one small. And then there's this one.
Yeah, that one's not even there anymore. But that one is the, that's the big boy. That's the real battle wound.
I had to go to the fire station. Because I was hyperventilating and my hands would cramp up like that. Right, you can tell them I can't talk that much.
So her hands would cramp up and they would get stuck like this. And so we went to the fire station because she was hyperventilating really bad, and she goes, they're like checking all her vitals and stuff and like putting the things around her arm and everything, and the lady's talking to her, and my sister's like, oh yeah, well, all these bruises are because whenever they tried to get an IV in me, my veins were collapsing. It's not because I do drugs, guys, don't worry. The only thing on her mind was drugs.
And when we were going to the fire station, I was telling my brother, like, he hadn't seen me hyperventilate yet. It was only my second time doing it. And, like, can you tell him the rest?
Yeah. And so she was like, man, if my hands start to do this, don't freak out, I'm okay. We just gotta get there quick. It was, we had a good laugh about it after, but during, it was a little scary.
But I'm doing better now with my hyperventilations. I can breathe through them. I know the signs.
Yeah, you can tell that, obviously, I mean, she does get out of breath and kind of have to finish stories for her, but
at least we can breathe back into
exactly
a calm state after like 20 minutes or so.
Yeah, it usually takes her around like a good 20 minutes, and you can just talk to her about everything that she's been going through, and like ask her simple questions just to make sure that to make sure that she knows what she's doing and like that she's conscious.
Yeah.
But it doesn't take long, just gotta remind her about her breathing.
Word.
To your mother.
But they gave me potassium, they got my levels like all good. Mind you, I wasn't eating, that's why everything dropped, but I just felt like I couldn't, and everything I was eating I would throw up. I would throw up like probably 5 to 6 times a day, and it would be like this dark green color, which I later learned is bile. I know I'm moving a lot, guys. I'm just getting really anxious because I'm home alone and I'm talking about something that's very hard for me to talk about. I'm getting anxious, but I'll be fine. I later learned that what I was throwing up is bile, because my gallbladder was going bad. So the bile was leaking into my other organs, and I stayed at that hospital for a couple of days, but then they released me while I was throwing up bile. Like, the worst hospitals here, they suck. My doctor recommends me to a surgeon, and I went to the surgeon on Friday. They looked at all my things from the hospitals, and they're like, we need to get your gallbladder cleaned out now, pretty much. So Monday is my surgery. I go, and I'm under anesthesia, so I don't know what's going on. So originally they were supposed to clean out my gallbladder, clean out the sludge, clean out the stuff around my other organs that were causing them to shut down. I was getting pancreatitis, or like an elevated pancreas, like my levels were elevated. So I went and I did that, and when I wake up, they tell me that they actually took my gallbladder out, which, if you've ever had your gallbladder removed, that sucks so bad, because they wake you up from anesthesia. They've moved all your organs around to get your gallbladder like out of there and not mess with anything else. Hi Ace. Hi baby. Okay. So they wake me up from surgery right after, and they tell me to take a walk. I'm like, I know I'm fucked up right now, but did you really just say take a walk? I kind of remember some of it. I remember telling them to take a walk. I was kind of being mean to them, but I was in so much pain. That's one thing that I remember. I just kept saying like, ow, my stomach hurts, my stomach hurts, my stomach hurts. And my nurse, he was so sweet. He saw me like go back to sleep on the bed, which I wasn't supposed to, but they still had me like hooked up to monitors and stuff, so they knew I was fine. I was just going back to sleep because I'm under anesthesia. So he tells my mom, like, my mom is in the corner just looking mortified, she said, and he said too that they were waking me up and like telling me to walk around and get up and do all this stuff, and she's like, you guys just took an organ out of her and you're asking her to walk. But they have to do that. It's not like they were trying to botch my surgery or do anything crazy, you know. So I get up, I go take a walk. I'm asleep, and Andrew comes in, that was my nurse, and he says, you know what, I'm just gonna let her sleep for like 10 minutes or so. We won't tell anyone she's in here, like, we'll just let the girl sleep. So I get up, finally, they get me up, they get me dressed, and I'm like, all right, good job. And then I laid back down to go to sleep, and they're like, no, you gotta go take a walk. So I don't remember much. My mom told me that Andrew, my nurse, had me, I was like this on his shoulders, like my hands on his shoulders, walking me, of course, because you know you can't walk by yourself after surgery, and especially I was so weak and frail at that point. I was probably down like 25 pounds at this point. So she said that I have my hands on his shoulders, and then he starts walking me, and then I just go like boom and go to sleep on him because, you know, I'm exhausted under anesthesia in so much pain. I just like, I very vividly remember being in so much pain, and they're telling me walk, and whew, it was just a lot.
Technical difficulties.
We have to go for a walk.
And this is how we usually get through panics.
Walk.
Small walks, breathing techniques, and random shit talking.
Yep. Talking about food I'm gonna eat when I get better. But I can walk on my own.
Yeah. Not holding her, not supporting her.
Yeah.
She's doing better.
Day 5 of recovery.
Yeah.
I'll show you guys my gunshot wounds. My stab wounds.
Real thugs out here. Walks take a second. She tends to get a little shaky towards the end, but that's when we know it's time to
sit her down.
Yeah, time to start the walk.
Like my.
Those are the battle scars.
They're healing. Here's my squishy. Shout out to Hunter and Nicole.
Yeah, shout out Hunter and Nicole for the squishy and the flowers. There we go.
You want to show them my granny walk?
Oh yeah, y'all get to see her gun walk. Let's see your gun walk. It's foot by foot, but it's progress. Before, she was taking steps probably like half the size of what she's taking now.
And I can sit down by myself.
And stand up too. Did that help? Yeah, you feel a little better?
Yeah. So I was saying that once I got my surgery, I get out of the hospital, or out of the place where I had my surgery, the same day. And I go home, I'm sleeping forever and ever, like probably 6 hours or so I slept. And then I woke up and I still just couldn't eat. But it's the first day of my surgery, so nobody thought anything of it. A few days later, I'm starting to throw up bile again, and me and my mom were like, what the heck? We thought that the gallbladder coming out would clear it. So we googled it, and it said, like, you know, you can throw up bile for a few days and things like that because it's still in your system. So you just have to throw it up and get it out. So we waited a couple more days. I'm still not eating. And at this point, it had been like a month and a half of not eating for me, which is very dangerous. Please don't ever do that. Like, just don't do that to your body. Don't do that to your mind. Don't do that to your family. Like, don't do that. I had a condition. I was going through a lot, and I wasn't eating because I wanted to lose weight, or I wasn't not eating because I wanted to lose weight or anything like that. Like, don't do that to yourself. If I could tell you one thing, it's that you need food. You need liquids. Like, you need, I think it's 62 or 64 fluid ounces a day. Like, get your food in. It's so important to hold your levels up and keep them up and keep everything balanced in your body. You don't want to do that to your mind. Just listen to me. I'm being so serious. If you're someone who has like an eating disorder, or, you know, I know it comes from trauma, I know it comes from other things that have happened in your life, but I'm being so serious with you right now. Like, don't do that to your body, because as much as people think like this sucks, like the world sucks, sometimes it does. But until you're actually dying, like, you don't know that you don't want to die. So I'm just saying, like, don't do that to yourself. Like, it's so horrible. It sucks when they have to put potassium in you. It sucks when they have to feed you through a tube or otherwise. You don't want that. I promise you. And you just don't want that for yourself. So I get it if you're going through something and you need help, or, you know, if you're having health issues and you're having trouble eating. I get that even, but just don't do it to yourself. Just know it's not worth it. And it's not worth it at all. So anyways, I forgot where it was.